Так, мы продолжаем проходить Divinity Original 2 на сложности тактика. Зачистили мы берег, у нас квест один остался. Так. Вот. Кольцо Трикстера. Я его вроде бы... Как, наверное, продал. Но это не точно. И мы сейчас пойдем обратно и посмотрим, может все-таки мы сможем его найти.
You must help us wage our war, that peace may be, that peace may be, that peace may...
Ясно, ясно. Так, мы возвращаемся сюда. Да, правильно. В эту сторону. Ну-ка.
The others have gone to get us a ship out of here. Hurry on, they'll need you.
Скорее, без тебя никак. Ну так-то да. Если б не я, где они были. Опа, ну а как туда попасть? Ну... Ты. Вперед лутать. Понятненько. Угу. Так, вот мы и вернулись. Сюда, кажется. Что-то... Где-то же, наверное, должен быть его труп. Да? Где-то. Трикстер пуст. Я его, значит, обыскал, да. И я понятия не имею, где это кольцо. Ну все, значит, один квест мы провалили. Обидненько. Ну ладно. Ну, кому надо, почитает на паузе. Так, а это мы читали. Вот, это новая книга. Да. Среднее зелье. Да, с этим квестом получилось обидно. Ну ладно. Ну что, и теперь мы можем отправиться на борт Госпожи Мести. Но с ней нельзя поговорить.
Let's go. Boat first, questions later.
Поехали.
Malady grabs the vessel with two hands and pushes it into the water. She hops on board behind you.
God woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
О, level up.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least on the shoulders of one of them.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship.
Well, well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus.
Минутку. Они что, ушли со всем моим добром, что ли, который им дал? Ах ты, скотина. Ладно.
A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus. How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research.
О. Ну, это заявочка на очень хорошо полутать.
Claude. So close to escaping. I remember
Show
this
us
one.
the way forward.
His name was Caban.
Deliver us from peril.
His friend's sword couldn't save him, it would appear.
Ну, лично для меня тут ничего нет.
Tarsendelius, pray to you for
Вот
my
это,
seeker brethren.
блин,
Show
вот
us the
это...
path to salvation.
Вот это, блин, блинский.
Blessings to
Надо
our
срочно с
fallen.
кем-то поторговаться.
Pray that they may find rest.
Так, сегодня великий день, нас
Pray to you for my seeker
только великий, что я даже решил, что стану вести дневник, описывая свою службу на госпоже Мести. Когда-нибудь я обзаведусь семьей, и тогда мои дети и внуки узнают о моем скором вкладе в наши эпохальные деяния. Итак, я начинаю. Сегодня на борт поднялась божественная госпожа Дарис, длань карающая, или как ее еще зовут, Кувалда. Она прошла мимо нас, освещенной великой славой, и мне показалось, что она улыбнулась мне уголком рта. Бросив на меня короткий взгляд, сама Кувалда улыбнулась мне. Кажется. После этого она отправилась в своей каюте и обратилась с речью к двери. Я не слышал всего разговора, но, кажется, она говорила о стойкости, являющейся без всякого сомнения и важным этическим принципом Ордена, и важным показателем военного корабля. Дверь была в должном мере впечатлена... Дверь была в должной мере впечатлена ее речью и открылась. Кувалда проскользнула внутрь, с тех пор мы ее не видели. Эпохальный день. Приказы. Мы получили приказы. Корабль отправился в поход. Банда злобных повстанцев высадилась на острове, и мы должны были уничтожить их судно, а может быть и их самих. Скоро я смогу рассказать о нашей славной победе. Стойкость. Вот ключ ко всему. Стойкость откроет мне двери. Кажется, мы нашли ключик от какой-то двери. Даже с этой штукой слишком долго идет. Ну-ка, выстрелит? Да. Выстрелит.
Tarsendelius, don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him. Without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. Then just remember what I said,
Сначала мы подаем его полутаю. А теперь... Ну давай.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. At that moment, the ship serendipitously creaks beneath you, almost like it is acknowledging your observation. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain in your arm subsides to a dull tingle. The skin on your hand is already blistering.
Blessings to our fallen.
Ладно.
Pray that they may find rest.
Медленно, но верно, мы идем лутаться дальше. Потому что верные сундуки ушли куда-то там. Пусто. 'Пусто. 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 Так, ну-ка на минуточку. Нафиг. Матис.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's his face and so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually.
Вот она, сучка.
Alexander, he's alive.
В смысле, блядь?
Apparently, you didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. If Alexander is guilty, he'll face justice.
Nothing on any of the dead bodies. Maybe there's something below decks.
Так. Работай.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't...
Нет, сорян, тебя мы не возьмем. Команда уже есть.
There must be something around here. You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Блин, у тебя денег нету. Ну, молодец. Ну куда он ушел?
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken.
Да,
We're
да,
searching every
да.
corner of it.
Вот реально, куда он делся? Вон он ходит. Сейчас мы ему часть говна сбагрим. Все будет хорошо.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we?
Так, плохо. Тогда мы сначала ему отдадим все говно. И вот. Ну-ка. 35, ты чё? Так, уже хорошо, хорошо, что-то наклевывается. Угу. Вот уже почти, ой, он наш. Ну, вот, да, почти. Да что ты будешь делать? А, почти. Дай морковку. Сколько? Отдай морковку. Да, сотка. Что нам точно не понадобится?
She's not exactly a seeker. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Maladi's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
I won't let the fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. Other Godwoken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was alive. And so the Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siva's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Не, подожди, мы не закончили.
May the fallen rest easy in the Hall of Echoes.
Gareth pauses, then shakes his head.
A mistake was made. Keep Lucian close, God.
Понятно. Жопошник. Ну, вперед в трюм. Так, помощники дались. Но они не враждебны.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up.
Ну-ка, подожди, стой, 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 стой.
Did you
стой.
hear? We're bringing you to Meister Siva, the head of the Seekers. If we can get out of here, that is.
А я тебе все это продавал? Или у тебя все это было у самого? О, ёкар. Ой-ой, о. Так, ладно, мы сюда еще вернемся. К нему обязательно. Сундук хранилища. Классно. Так. Еще есть хавка. Так, иди сюда. Все. Что-то мы все выкладываем. Все эти посохи. А может это все продать? В принципе, доспехи тирана, они, ну, такое. Да, мы так и сделаем. Сколько у тебя КГ? 88. Ладно, мы сейчас что-нибудь понаберем, что можно ему впарить. Обратно.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... Ah, from the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my...
Так, удар, ну... Так, пища. Что мы можем сейчас приготовить? Ужин. Угу. Объединить. 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 Итак. Смотрим. Угу, неплохо. Так, ужин, 20 ужина, неплохо, неплохо. Но мне так много на самом деле не надо. Штучек 5 себе оставим. Есть. Ну, такое. Долго, ловкость смысла нет. Вот, чесночок сюда, сюда. Это продадим, да. Так, пошли дальше что-то все изучать.
The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems... The silent monk leans forward slightly and stares at you straight in the eyes. She's...
There must be something around here.
А вот интересно. Да ладно тебе. Бочка пива, по-моему, прикольно. Так, стоп. Я вот это прочитал. Да, видимо, прочитал. Так. Неплохо, неплохо. Живем, так сказать. Он прям выстрелит. Прикольно, да. Тут 20 монет. Ой, как хорошо.
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say? Suit yourself.
He drags a comb through his beard. His face bears the scars of a hearty life, but his whiskers
Тут тоже мы ему впарим сейчас. Слишком тяжело тебе, ладно. Один поставим. Понятно.
There must be something around here. Did you hear? We're bringing you to Meister Siva, the head of the Seekers.
Есть для тебя ящик.
If we can get out of here, that is.
Надеюсь, тебе понравится. Ну чё, как тебе? 28. Да ты нифига себе ты жрешь. Ладно, мы тебе пару скипетров отдадим таких. Чё скажешь? Неплохо, тогда мы тебе все скипетры отдадим. Я же не отдал лишний долг. 84. Ну ты жидяра. Ладно, соберем еще что-нибудь и вернемся.
Good to feel the rolling of the waves. I might actually get a good night's sleep.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
Не радуйся. Фейн. Опа.
I must say, you may not be an eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood? You have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Ah, yes. I have heard that your people enjoy various fermented fruits and vegetables. Pardon? Was that an invitation? Were you trying to initiate some form of mating ritual? Oh, my pardons. I fear I'm rather unaccustomed to your... customs. Although perhaps you would be interested in a companion of another sort. I need to travel to the Black Pit's oil field, near Reaper's Coast. but my attempts at staying under the cover have not gone well to date. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And so, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Very well. Let's be off.
Так, один есть. Хотел с моим Лутецким уйти. Ага.
How can one be seasick when one has no stomach? This is heinously unfair.
Set sail, for the love of all things, set sail. The sooner I am off this carved monstrosity, the better. Ah, this is perhaps the first intelligent question you have asked. After all, one should always try to learn from one's betters. My people are a race far beyond anything that exists in the world today. We seek to master the secrets of the universe. We craft wonders to last through the ages, long after your crude tools have rusted to nothing. There is a great variety among our people. Some are tall and lithe, others short and muscled. Some come in a variety of eye-catching colors. Others you can barely see at all. This is what makes you such an abomination, you see. You look almost exactly like every other elf out there, just as every human looks like every other human. Walking through this world is as repulsively bland as staring at a wall for a century. After a while, the very sight of you disgusts me. No offense, of course. I do not know. There are rumors that some have been found at the Black Pits, an oil field on Reaper's Coast. I was trying to uncover the truth when I was waylaid by these magisters. But wherever the artifacts of my people are, I will find them. We have not simply vanished into thin air. No, I should not. Not yet. Not until I know what truly befell my people. And after all, I am still here, despite the Voidwoken's best efforts. Ignorant! I dare say I have a better knowledge of this world than any creature living in it. Oh, I may be missing some social mores or be unaware of what king waged which war, but why nitpick? Your history is an interminably dull list of mortals that were born, achieved nothing of worth, and then died. Certainly one may have expanded his kingdom, or another invented some way of pickling fish, but what does it matter? Where will your kingdoms be in 100 years? In 1,000? They will all be dust, along with each and every one of your great heroes. Your people and nations come and go, mayflies screaming their importance at a universe that cannot listen. But the universe is always there. The laws that govern your states change over centuries, but the laws of the world... Even when my people walked this land, a dropped apple still fell to the ground. I have yet to see the mortal king that can decree all apples must fall up from their trees, or order fire to produce cold instead of heat. No, these laws stretch to infinity. Understanding them lets you understand the world. That is knowledge worth having. Everything else is arguing over who has built the prettiest sandcastle as the waves creep closer. I fell victim to the enemy of all great minds. Fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of change. These are the things that poison civilizations. I was on the cusp of a glorious breakthrough, but my king's fear held me back. I discovered a veil hanging across the universe. A barrier of pure source. It was amazing. The kind of discovery on which a civilization turns. Who knows what secrets may have been hidden behind that curtain? But my king forbade me from further investigation. Do you know, I never thought to ask, between him purging me and casting me into a traitor's tomb. What a foolish oversight! If only I'd had your prescience and curiosity, I could have saved myself centuries of pondering that very question. Well... certainly he was not pleased with my insistence that we investigate. but the king's word is law. Was law. But the reason I was purged was slightly less intellectual. After the king refused to let me investigate the Veil, I brought the issue up with others. The 7 lords, beneath the king in authority, but far above me. I brought them my research. I showed them everything. I had hoped they would help me convince the king of his error, but before they or I could act, I was arrested and, well, my sentence was carried out. I mean, yes, I suppose you could have drained the power from it, but that would have weakened it significantly. After all, the power of the thing is not the point. It hid something. Who knows? The secrets to the universe could have lain behind that curtain. But I was not given the chance to find out. Now, I fear I never will. He ceased to be my king the moment he turned on me. I did nothing wrong. All I wanted was to further the knowledge of the Eternals. Who knows? Had I been allowed to continue my studies, perhaps I could have warded off whatever catastrophe befell them. Well, of course it is. It was crafted with care. 100% ethically harvested from mortals, too. The quality is second to none. Oh, you simply wait until the creature is dead, preferably of natural causes. Although that does limit your choices somewhat. You may end up with quite a few sagging faces. I will never understand why you have so readily accepted aging, or digestion. They are frightful pastimes. Up to a point, certainly. They are frightfully loud, but the selection afterwards is quite good. The faces are often what you might call fixer-uppers, but they're young and quite serviceable, if you get them before the flies do. Poison is preferred, of course. No marks to the face, the subject can be of any age, and death is often quite peaceful. Not for them, of course, but it's significantly more relaxing for me.
Whatever I'm looking for, I'm not finding it.
Indeed, so I gathered from your earlier prattling. I also met someone. Oh no, she was a god, by your standards. When I wore flesh, I knew her as the Lady Armadia. She was one of the 7 lords that served our king. Oh no, they're quite gone. The 7 seem to be all that remains, and they... well, I'm not sure what they are. Not quite gods, but not quite Eternals. No, they are something else entirely. Naturally, they acted as any lords would. They bowed to their king and sneered at their lessers. And there was an awful lot of sneering, even back then. One can only imagine how much there is now. Oh, what do you want from me? I'm not here to gossip and titter about my lords. If you wish to know what they were like, you need only to look at yourselves. Each of the races were crafted not just in the image of their gods, but in their temperament too. Vrogir was large and strong as his orcs. Zantezza quick and witty as an imp. And Rallic prone to bouts of fighting and boasting, much like every human I've ever encountered. You were crafted as an act of ego, but one can hardly hold that against the creatures. In truth, the lords never troubled themselves with too much imagination. Yes, well, if you are quite finished wasting my time, I believe we have some business to get on with.
Так, ладно. Одного сундука мы вернули. Да ладно, только подушки, чё? Кто в сундуках хранит подушки? Так, братан.
Did you hear? We're bringing you to Meister Siva, the head of the Seekers.
Грязные
If
носки.
we can get out of here, that is.
Краденая. Почему краденая? 5 ему. Ладно, короче, не слишком жирно. Сколько оно? Пофигу, держи, короче. Надоел. Так, отлично. Идем дальше. Все ниже и ниже. Сколько тут всего? Таркин какой-то.
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
Ну, я знаю, как ее
There's
открыть,
something to
но...
these doors I'm not seeing. But
Ну ничего,
there's
кстати.
got to be some clue. Dallas would have trusted someone with a secret,
Денег
wouldn't
у
she?
тебя нет, понятно.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too. So, what'll it be?
Ой, простите, пожалуйста. Так, продолжаем. Лутать. Опа, Сибила.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we...
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least...
A moment's pause. I had thought us too wicked for rest. What use Fort Joy had has been spent. New hunting grounds wait across the sea, so by all means, let us sail. So they are. My arms are gravestones, many a lost soul's last rest. One day I'll know who they were, the ones on my right arm. And one day, they'll all be dead, the ones on my left. They are the ones I was forced to kill. I don't know why. I can't recall. But I kept their names, and with their names, I will honor them. The Master. A lizard, but not any lizard. A spectre in the flesh, a man with no name. A darker shade in shadows. If he be a demon, as the frightened claim, I will be a demon hunter. If he be a god, as the cowering claim, I will be a godslayer. Until it is over, I will be nothing but vengeance. A day on the beach I'll be after.
She returns your smile, though you can read the skepticism in her eyes.
A lovely little promise to make. A thorny one to keep. We'll see how bloodied you're willing to get to pluck the one rose lost in a forest of daggers. Still, I do appreciate the sentiment. Those are the breadcrumbs, torn and tossed aside along the long road to the Master. They are inconsequential, candles snuffed out by a brighter flame, if I do say so myself. Huh, hardly. I walked up to the quay, asked for the ship to Fort Joy, and declared myself a sorcerer. I'm here to hunt, remember? Here to play a game of tic-tac-terminate with a special certain someone. Ha! People will enslave anything these days. At least back in my day, they had the elegance to opt for an elf.
One of her eyebrows arcs, like a cat arching its back, ready to scratch.
A touchy subject, I warn you. It didn't exactly feel like a kiss, but the true pain came after, when I lost all of my own volition. I served but the Master and none but he.
Her right hand goes for her needle, a quick, routine motion. But then she stops herself.
Go, before I lose my temper. Your eyes brim with inquiry, so ask. A strange question from an elf. Home, you ask. You know very well there's no such thing. I hail from the land that was, the kingdom of fog, the grave of divinity. If ever I had a home, it has long since gone up in the smoke of death fog, along with... So, no home, except... everything. The world is mine. It's mine because I say it is.
She looks at you, expectantly.
Yes, you may bow before the Queen of the World. We, the Queen of the World, smile upon thee with favor. We dub thee Knight of the Needle. Arise, good sir, and wear your title proudly.
She takes you by the hands and laughs heartily as you stand up.
How kind of you to play along. We won't forget. You don't say. I too had the pleasure. Of course, when I say pleasure, I mean the distinct dishonor. What always happens? I'd rather not talk about it.
She hesitates, but you can tell she wants to speak.
The thing is, Tyrsendilius, the old father, the Golden Leaf, he wants me to become the next divine.
Her eyes fix on some unseen thing of darkness.
Beware of gods bearing gifts. Divinity. And yet, he treated me all too mortal, all too brittle. His was an exercise in power, brutal, like all true power is. His was a lesson, meant to discipline, not to edify. Why would I obey such a god? Like I said, beware of gods bearing gifts. But I do appreciate the sentiment.
Так, это был увлекательный разговор.
Mate, the divine eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
You keep saying that. It won't save you.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing. The old band back together again, hmm? I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Того, кто стоит в моем луте.
Lohse leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. I can hear its thoughts. It isn't out for blood. It's out for pain. Domination. Total domination. I was wrong to think I could hold it off. I might hurt you. I might hurt anyone. Could you stop me? Really stop me, if it came to that?
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Well, all right then.
She pinches your cheek, a sparkle in her dim grey eyes.
I knew I could count on you to murder me in a pinch. Let's go, Chief.
Но мы не договорили.
Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Losa. I had a little chit-chat with Malady earlier. She told me I need to find someone to, exercise the thing in my noggin. Apparently, I'll be able to find him near Driftwood, where we're heading. Exciting! Depends which one. Most of them seem a little too earnest for my taste. But Malady? She's my kind of girl. In any case, it looks like they're probably going to help me find out whatever's leeching off my magnificent brain. So I'm not too pressed about being in the same boat. Ha, the same boat. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
She bats her eyelashes coquettishly over black eyes in grey sockets.
Just for you, Chief. Okay, I don't. Look, just... I know it was bad, okay? I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm sorry, I just... Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Losa. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? Sure thing, Chief. What's up? Of course I do. What's your poison?
Can't you say anything else? Bloody Magisters.
Well, damn. I never was much of a percussionist, but still. I reckon it's hard to sit still to jungle shakes.
Losa clears her throat and starts stomping a steady beat into the ground, kicking up dust that dances to the rhythm. Slowly, she claps an intricate pattern above the beat, hips swaying, head nodding. The beat builds into a riot of sound, her hands and feet moving in an inscrutable pattern. She takes a deep breath and starts humming above the rhythm, a sound like a train, like a flock of birds, like nothing else.
Savage, heart sinners. Savage. I can't. It's nothing. It's nothing. Let's keep moving. The sooner I find a way to get this bloody thing out of my head, the better. Well, I was giving this concert up on Overlook Hill. There was a great crowd. They were really feeling it. But I guess it was too good. I had me a little sauce flare-up. Everyone went a bit, I don't know, wild, rabid. I snapped out of it before anyone got hurt, but the Magisters caught me backstage afterwards. At least I went down doing what I loved. How very sweet of you to notice. I know, it's weird. One of the many side effects of the visitor upstairs.
She drums on her forehead with 2 fingers, smiles grimly, and shrugs.
They used to be blue. Oh well. Ha! Well, this is the real me. I've always been a host. I'm not too keen on this particular companion, of course, but I can't remember a stretch of longer than a few days that there wasn't some kind of lodger knocking around up there. I wouldn't really know what that's like. And after all, most of the time my visitors are friendly, interesting, musical even. Sometimes I wonder what my voice sounds like, you know? So what's it like, being alone in your head? Peaceful never was my forte. Nope. This one doesn't talk to me. It talks through me. You'll know it when you see it.
Ну, блин. Хотел с ней завести роман, но походу хрен там. Ладно, пойдем дальше полутаемся немного в волшебное зеркало наше. Так, это пролутать нельзя. Что-то она видит. Неплохо. Хорошо, что ты это увидела. Так. Так, отлично. Значит, у нас девяточка уже призывание. Это хорошо. Знание легенд. Ну, ладно, оставим так. Таланты. Нормально, инструмент нормально. Дальше. Понятно. Так, вот оно, как все происходит. Черт. Я ожидал другого. Совершенно другого. Ладно. Давай тебе так сделаем. Тебе мы дадим... еще геомантию. Нужно больше геомантии тебе. Тебе мы дадим... Или вот это... Оружие давай, да, да. И тебе мы бахнем... Давай, так все бахнем. И, наверное, что у тебя по... мы эти навыки сейчас бахнем, потом память бахнем, да. Ты, у тебя с памятью... О! Давайте память одну бахнем. И бахнем себе одну силу. А сюда... Ой-ой-ой. Сюда тебе бахнем. Так. Поехали. Начнем с Фейна. Можно ли у тебя что-то лишнее снять? Вот тут разные лица есть. Прикольно. Думаю, не знаю, вот это, наверное, классно. Прическа скелета. Забавно. Так, тут мы тебе все, мы, наверное, снимем. Телосложение в память одно кинем. Одно кинем в память, да. Умение. Ему нахер не надо знание легенд. Потому что этим занимаюсь я. Так. Взлом и кражи. Я думаю, ему нужно один воровство. И один... Понятно. И тогда мы ему... Да, еще один воровство, чтобы... Да. Таланты. Мы ему таланты, инструменты менять не будем. Да, принять. Так. Следующее, Лоуси. Так. Лицо. Это ужасно. Так. Наверное, тут мы все и оставим. Что у нас тут? Знание легенд тоже, до свидания. Мы тебе в обмен. Да. Вот. Очень хорошо. И теперь у нас идет эта мадемуазель. Седьмое лицо, значит, у нас. Не, наверное, мы так и оставим. Прическу мы ей... Может, другую какую-нибудь бахнем? Теперь она уже взрослая тетя, да? Вот. О, неплохо. Цвет мы ей дадим. Где был ворон? Вот, кстати, да, интересненько выглядит. Какая она худая. Так. Качество, ну... Чё, оставляем, да, все, что есть. Наверное, мы вот, я еще вот так сделаю, да. Невезучестей пахнет, да. Талант оставляем, это оставляем. Да, но на самом деле я немного другое ожидал. Вот. Ладно, пойдем теперь сюда, к этой двери.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then
No entry allowed through the starboard stateroom door. Please use the... No entry allowed. Please use the... That won't get you anywhere. Listen up so I don't have to repeat myself again. I am not an entry door. Fine. Answer the security question.
Блин, у нее совсем плохо все.
The password.
Стойка,
Now answer the security.
The face in the door is confused.
Ну, на самом деле, пароль-то мы узнали в той книге. Цель слишком тяжелая. Ты сможешь ее забрать? Нет, нет, нет. Ладно, не будем тогда ее забирать. У меня забагался я, да? Да, я забагался. Классно.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from it. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood. The face vanishes. The door...
Нет, 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 нет. Я так подумал, мы сначала пойдем-ка, пожалуй, вот сюда.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
You keep saying that. It won't save you.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just... don't make me regret it. Hope you find something useful.
A young magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot. So stow your questions, elf. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance.
The Magister pauses, takes a deep breath and...
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Bloody Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine...
Ладно.
Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be...
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Can't you say anything else?
Magister Ranley, Corker's...
Понятно. Ладно. А ты можешь выйти, я дверку-то закрою, да? Нечего тебе тут ходить. Так. Ух, время поджимает. Ну ладно. Поговорим с ним и будем заканчивать.
The door is still unmarked, though the memory of the face and its six-sided notch remains with you. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it. The door is still unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again.
You saw what I could not. It seems humanity.
I hope you found something or someone you...
Enter at your leisure.
И пора лутать. Лутать.
Just one more moment, please.
Вот это... Черная пелена стоит указанной области облака проклятого дыма, наслаивающего душ, если потом на всех персонажей в нем. Некромантия. Кровь. Клетка добавляет за каждого ключа. Сражение, порча, жизнь на грани. Здоровье цели не может опуститься ниже одного в течение 2 ходов, то есть она остается живых, несмотря на ни на что. Если цель является призванным существом, то время существования продлевается на нужный срок. Поднимает ходячую гору костей, которая способна поглощать трупы, чтобы снять здоровье и увеличить силу. Что если каждый персонаж исключая свой вместе с ним, забавно. Так. Здрасте. Свидание. Так. Давай-ка мы все, что связано с тираном, продаем. Мы тоже продадим. Продаем. Остальное мы пока оставим. Да.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding. Until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchanted dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now, enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. I'm afraid I cannot tell you what I do not remember. Could you pass me that copper wire just there?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back, above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? Well, you're painting me into a corner here, friend. And I don't like to be cornered.
Let the creature live. He is hardly worth our time.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades.
Something tells me that he'll only bring us woe, but I can't judge him yet.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. I must admit, despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire her a little. The woman is unwavering. She will so if you should cross paths again, be sure to leave her broken. You will not get another chance. No! This piece is far beyond what those wretches could muster. This is something of my own design, to meet my own requirements. The Magisters left me weakened, but this will help give me the strength to carry on my work.
Ну вот мы вернулись к продаже. Ух ты. Так, ну мы на этом остановимся. Продолжим обязательно в следующей серии. Все тут дальше лутать. Всем спасибо и увидимся в следующей серии.